Okay, hello there, I'm Dennis, and in this video we're going to install Arch Linux, and we're going to do it using UEFI. Right here is the Arch Linux web page. I suggest you mark this in your favorites because you will be checking on it from time to time. As you can see here, they just had 3 different occasions where we had to manually intervention to solve the problem. So anytime you have a problem with Arch, come straight to their web page and check them first. Mark this in your favorites. Once you're here, in order to get the ISO, the latest ISO, I normally select the torrent because if something happens and I have to stop it, I can just restart it. And it's usually pretty fast. But you can see here's all the worldwide mirrors that you have to select from. Alright, so once you got your ISO, you want to burn that to a disk, or you can burn it to a disk. However, you're going to want to burn it to a USB. And in my case, I generally use Etcher. That come up, take just a second here. I would select my ISO. I've already put my USB drive in. You need a minimum of 8 gigs. You can go more than that, but a minimum of 8. Then you'll select your target and then you'll flash. Once you do that, you're going to boot into your USB drive. In my case, if I want to get to my boot menu on a Dell, I hit F12. It just happens to be the same setting in Toshiba laptop. F12 will get me to a boot order menu, or you can go to your BIOS and tell it to boot from your USB first. Alright, and then once you get that and everything, you want to go to your installation guide here on the right hand side of your page, and you'll want to follow this through. Now this walks through just what I got through saying was download your ISO, burn it to a disk, boot up to it. First thing you want to do is set your key map and follow along with the wiki here. You can also follow along with me because this is what I use as a reference and a guide. To minimize that, I've got Arch set up in a virtual box here. I've given it 4 gigabytes of RAM, 2 cores of my processor. I've enabled the EFI, and I moved the floppy down and got it out of the way, and I moved hard disk up first. That's not necessary because UEFI is smart enough to recognize that it's not, the USB is not your operating system. So video memory, we got it all the way up. Storage, I got my ISO attached and I'm ready to go. I'll click OK. We'll hit start. And I'm going to go up to Arch Linux ISO. Let's see, make that full screen here so we can all see it. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make my font bigger so I can see it better, and so can you. I'm going to have to get out of full screen here though. Okay, so I made the font better, and I've also left the command line up there in front of you right now so you can pause your video and write that down, and anytime you run across this situation you can make your font bigger. Sun 32 happens to be the size, and you can change that if you want to. So let me get started here. We're going to clear the screen. I'm going to get back in full screen mode. There we go. Arch Wiki says first thing to do is to ping the internet. Get my fingers working here. Looks like we're online. So I'm going to Control C and send the interrupt signal and stop that. First thing we got to do is set our time, date, controls by CTL, and space, go set hyphen NTP space true. Network time protocol. Alright, now we want to just check that. We can type in date and we'll see that the day is the 19th and the time is not right, but we're going to set that later. So I'm going to Control L, clear the screen here. Now we're going to CF disk. And we're going to do that to device SDA. We're going to select GPT for a label type. First thing we're going to create is a 512 megabyte. That would be a capital M. And we're going to slide over to type and hit enter. And for me, it's at the very top. We're going to select UEFI system, and that's our boot device. So now we're going to say move, and I'm going to give it a 2 gigabytes. What will be swap? I'm going to slide over to the top and find swap. For me, it's just one up and hit enter. Okay, I'm going to go down now, hit enter, create the rest of the space here. I'm going to go 18 capital G. This will be our root drive. The remainder of it here is going to go into our home folder. So now you can see we got 512 megabytes of EFI system. We got 2 gigabytes of Linux swap. 18 gigabytes is going to be for our root or our mount. We've got the remainder of that's going to be in our home directory. So I slide over to right, hit enter, type in the word yes, and hit enter. And now we can get out of there by sliding over to quit. Okay, you see that it's synced to the disk. I'm going to Control L, clear the screen. So now we got to make file system dot FAT space hyphen capital F 32, so it's going to be a FAT 32, not a FAT 16. And we're going to do that on device SDA1. Hit enter. Okay, so we're not going to mount that when we mount our drives. We're going to save that to the end. Next thing we're going to do is make swap on device SDA2. If I type that right, hit enter. Okay, let's go ahead and turn that swap on device SDA2. Okay, now we can make a file system of a .ext4 on device SDA3, which is our root partition. Okay, now I'm going to up arrow that command backspace the 3 out of there and replace it with the 4, which is our home directory, and hit enter. Okay, now I'm going to clear the screen, and I'm going to go lsblk to list the block devices, and you can see we've got SDA 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is what we want. So now we're going to mount device SDA3, and we're going to mount that to /MNT. Hit enter. Now we need a directory, so we're going to make the directory /MNT/home. Hit enter, and now let's mount that. Mount /device SDA4 to /MNT/HOME. Enter. Okay, now if we do a lsblk, you'll see that we've got a swap, mount, and mount home are all mounted. SDA1, which is going to be our boot, is not mounted. So I'm going to Control L to clear the screen. Okay, so we're getting ready to pack strap. Before we do that, let's go Pacman -S. Nope. I'll do this first. Nano Etsy Pacman .conf. Hit enter. And we're going to scroll down and we're going to find, primarily we're going to find total download and uncomment that. I'm going to add in I love candy so we can see the beautiful little Pac-Man running across the screen. But by doing this, we'll see how far we are in the progress. I hate just guessing how far I am, and I'll have to redo all of this, but I'm going to go ahead and enable the multi-lib. Control O, enter, Control X, Control L. Now Pac-Man, fat finger that. Pac-Man -S Y just to sync them and include the multi-lib repository. Okay, so we're going to install reflector by Pac-Man SY, and we're going to install reflector. Enter. All right, we're going to say, yep, please install. Control L. Get rid of that. Now we're going to say reflector. We're going to say verbose because we want to see. I'm nosy. And we're going to specify our country, which was going to be single quote United States. And I'm also going to say, I forgot my end quote there. There we go. And I'm also going to say country, capital CANDA for Canada, space. And then the age is going to be 24. The protocol is going to be HTTPS and HTTP. So now I'm going to hyphen, sort, space, rate, hyphen, save to space slash Etsy, Pacman, period D slash mirror list. You sure you got that spelled right? Hit enter. We're going to get the freshest mirrors for the last 24 hours. So if you've seen my Arch install before, you know that command was different. So now we are ready to run pack strap. Pack S-T-R-A-P space slash M-N-T. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and install everything from the beginning to the end, the opening desktop, and I'm going to install XFCE as my desktop environment and use LikeDM. But I'm going to get all of this right now at the pack strap command, and then we'll come back into the actual installation and complete the last steps. At that point, we'll be ready to boot into our system. I'm going to Control F to get out of full screen for a second here, and I'm going to pause the video, and I'll come back when I've got everything typed in. Okay, we're back. Let me get back in full screen here. Okay, I'm going to run down this list. I really don't need to run down it. You can just pause your video and see what all I've installed here. Everything from base to bell, all the way down to some icons and theming, some fonts, everything I can think of that I'm going to need that I can get now. Some other things I will need, but I'll need Yay to install them, or I'll need a AUR helper. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter. Hope I got everything spelt right. I think I do. And the must-have, we got 1.5 gigabytes as a download, a 6 gigabyte installed size. And you can see there we've got a percentage going on, so we can tell where we're at in the installation, which should be built in by default, but it's not. We'll Control F here to get out of full screen. Go back to the installation guide, see where we're at right now. We run our time date CTL. We've partitioned our disk. We've formatted our disk. We've mounted our disk, and now we're in the installation stage. They even recommend that you download and install your new mirror list. We did that, and now we're on the pack strap command. We're downloading. Well, we didn't just stop with the base and Linux firmware. We went all out, and we're going to go ahead and get it all at one time. We're done tapping now as far as programs go. What we can get through Pacman, I should say. Following the guide, next thing will be generating a FS tab, and then routing into our newly installed system, setting up our time zone. We're going to basically follow this right on through, just like that. If you're into the Arch Wiki, you can follow along with it and make sure that I'm doing things in order. This is going to take a little bit, obviously. It's 14% and 1 minute into it. I'm going to pause the video. I will be back. I might even comb my hair. Okay, we're just about through here. I got 44 out of 893 packages to install, so I'm going to go ahead and get back in full screen here. Maybe. There we go. For some reason it hesitated. Arch Linux. By the way, this is Sunday, April the 19th in the year 2020. We're about in our third week of voluntary quarantine, I guess. Not sure. I don't like the terms they use, though. Anyway, we're all still stuck at home. Starting to relax a little bit on the controls. I've seen down in Florida where they've opened up beaches, but not to bathers, only to exercise people. So, not sure. I just hope everybody I know and don't know, and I hope you're all being safe and keeping your family safe, and everything's awesome for you. So why would you do everything at once like this? Well, it only makes sense to me. I've watched enough installations now to know that the graphical installer, it'll install all of this stuff, and then it'll go back and add the locale and the username and all that stuff. Some of them actually boot into the new system and then add the new user. That, to me, it's just easier. The only thing is you have to make up what desktop you want before you even start, which really, by the time you start, you should know that anyway. In this case, like I said, I'm using XFCE4, and I also got the XFCE goodies. You might want GNOME with the GNOME Extra, or Mate with Mate Extra, or KDE Plasma with all those extras, the meta packages and such. I sure like the font, making the font bigger like that. No, I can see it a lot easier. I'm trusting that you can see it a lot easier on your end. 889 out of 893. So we're almost there. 890, we got 3 more to go. Papyrus icon. Then it's going to build a bunch of hooks, this, that, and the other. And our next step is to run our FS tab. Not a lot of difference in the installation between UEFI and Legacy. What we did with CF disk, where we created a 512 megabyte boot partition, you can do that with Legacy mode as well. Now, I think in Legacy mode you don't even need 512. I'm pretty sure I read 300 megs is all you need if you want to set up a separate boot partition with Legacy mode. So with the exception of that, everything else is the same so far. When we get toward the very end and installing Grub, we'll make some changes. There will be a change in the procedure there between that and Legacy. But even so, I mean, it's not much of a difference. I also know when you reboot in UEFI mode, it'll bypass that ISO right off the bat. You won't even have to worry about removing your ISO, whether it be a USB or an ISO file in this case, or a CD. That's one thing it has over Legacy, that's for sure. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm going to Control L to clean the screen, and Gen FSTAB space dash P space dash capital U slash MNT, and then double chevrons. We're going to put this in slash MNT slash Etsy slash FSTAB. Did I spell that right? FS tab, yep. Now to check that, up arrow, bring that back, and replace all that with cat, and hit enter. And now we should see our 3 main drives. And we'll Control L to clean the screen. Alright, now we can arch hyphen to root slash MNT, and that'll put us into on our hard drive. Alright, ln space dash sf space slash usr slash share slash zone info slash. Now you could double tab here and get all your options. In my case, I'm using America, and that's capital A MERICA, and then we're going to slash again. And you could do double tab again, and it would bring up all your cities or time zones. But in this case, I know I'm in the same time zone as Chicago, so I'll just skip that part. And we'll put that in local, TIME. So we created a sim link to their time zone. Okay, now the hardware clock, HWCLOCK space hyphen SYSTOHC space hyphen UTC. Enter. Now I'll do my little tweak thing here that I love doing. Etsy pacman.conf. Now I'll go back and redo the stuff in here that we did earlier. Enter. I'm going to enter ILOVECANDY, which is the truth. I like to see verbose package lists. Occasionally you'll have the opportunity to use those. And again, I'm going to enable the multi-lib repositories. Okay, Nano, Control O to write it out, enter to confirm, Control X, get out of here, Control L to leave it. Back to the installation. We got our hardware clock. Now we need our locale. So Nano, Etsy, locale with the E, .gen, and we're going to look for your language. In my case, I'm looking for English US. Did I pass it? Nope, that was good timing though. UTF, Control O to write it out, enter to confirm, Control X, get out of here, Control L, clear the screen. Locale with the E hyphen GEN. It's going to generate our locale. Now we need to echo language equals English underscore capital US dot UTF hyphen 8, and we're going to put that over in Etsy locale with the E dot CONF and hit enter. Okay, up arrow, bring that command back, backspace all of that out until you get to your language. And we're going to export this, EXPORT. Okay, going to export that. Now, that takes care of our locale. So now we need a host name, and in this case, my host name is going to be capital DH, and we're going to pipe that over to /Etsy host name. Now you could just nano into that and type it in, and I could also verify it just to see that it is there. So that would be an Etsy host name. And there it is. Okay, I didn't do anything, so I can Control X to get out of here, Control L to clean the screen. That took care of our host name. Now we need to edit our host, plural. So that would be an Etsy /HOSTS and hit enter. Alright, now we're going to scroll down below that stuff and we're going to type in 127.0.0.1. We're going to tab one time and say local host, all one word, hit enter. Then ::1, tab, local host, all one word, enter. 127.0.1.1, tab over your host name again, period, local domain, all one word, tab over and your host name. And you sure the digits or letters are in the right spots. Control O to write it out. Enter to confirm. Control X, get out of nano. Now, that last line there, 127.0.1.1, if you have your own permanent static address, that's what you should use there, it says. Control L to clear the screen. Now, our root user needs a password. So PASSWD, password. You can give it a strong, complicated password. All right. Now we're going to user add, and that's with 2 D's, space, -M, space, capital G. Now, I see a lot of people doing this different right here, but if you'll refer to your Arch Wiki, you will see that this is the right command. One thing I do is I include all of my groups at once. Let me show you this first. If you wanted to, you could find out what the groups are by writing cat/Etsy group singular, and that will show you all of the groups that are available. Now here you can't scroll up, but if you was in your desktop and in a terminal, you could scroll up and see all of your groups. Okay. Back to what I was doing, user add -M space capital G. Now here is the group sys log games network, a bunch of them here. Floppy, power, scanner, floppy power scanner, ADM, admin, and wheel, arguably the most important, audio, disk, with a K, input, LP, KVM, optical, storage, video, users, plural, RFKILL, space, -S, lowercase, space, /bin/BASH, space, and your new username. Let me check. Games, network, floppy, power, scanner, admin, wheel, audio, disk, input, LP, KVM, optical, storage, video, users, RFKill, bin bash, enter. Oh, I put a period in there. Yep, sure did. That's supposed to be a comma. Now, try again. Alright, so we can verify that by typing in groups, plural, and your username. There you go. Now, we need a password for Dennis, our new user. We give him a long, complicated password. And there we go. Now, he needs rights. Editor equals nano, VISUDO. And again, I see a ton of things happening on YouTube with how to install and right ways and wrong ways and everything. Wiki says, put your name under the root user, all equals, all in parentheses, capital ALL, enter. I'm going to undo the wheel group. I'm also going to do the same thing without a password. Now, if you're on a laptop, or if you're at a place where your information or your computer could be easily accessed, you don't want to do this. The only thing you want to do is uncomment the one that says wheel. All under members of the group wheel to execute any command. That's the only one you really want to do, except putting your name up there, like the wiki shows you how to do. So when you're satisfied with this, we're going to hit Control O, enter, Control X, Control L, and there we go. So now it's time to install Grub. So we're going to say Pacman, capital SYY to sync our databases. Make sure multi-lib is still in there. So we're going to need Pacman, capital S, and we're going to need Grub. We're also going to need EFI boot MGR. And if we hadn't already got DOS FS tools and M tools, you will definitely need them now. So go ahead and type those in if you don't have them. If you plan on dual booting, you're going to need one called OS Prober. Okay, I'm happy with what I got here because I'm not going to dual boot, so I don't need OS Prober. And I've already installed DOS FS tools and M tools. So I'm going to hit enter. And we're going to say, yep, please install. So here's where the EFI gets a little different here. You remember we made, I'm going to control L, we made a partition of that of 512 megs, and we went ahead and formatted it to a FAT32. Now we need to make a directory for it, and we're going to say /boot /EFI. We'll hit enter, and now we're going to mount that, mount device, which was SDA1, and we're going to mount that to /boot /EFI, the directory we just created. Hit enter. Now ls /boot /EFI. Okay, listed what was in boot EFI. Nothing. All right, so we got grub. Now we need grub -install, and that's going to be target equals, and I don't think this is still necessary, but we're going to put it in there anyway. x86_64 dash lowercase EFI space and go -- bootloader -ID equals grub _UEFI and then space and then -- recheck. We don't want no errors. Make sure you got your spelling correct and hit enter. See how it says it's installing for x86-64 EFI platform. I think that if you left the target out of this last command that you would still be okay, but I wouldn't swear to it. In the legacy boot, you definitely don't have to include the target, but I normally do. What we're looking for here is it was installed with no errors, and it's going to take just a second or two longer because we used the -- recheck, but I would much rather have that done. Once this is installed, we're going to grub make config, and that'll be just like your normal Arch installation. Okay, installation finished, no errors. So grub -mkconfig make config -o space /boot /grub /grub.cfg. Looks right, hit enter. Okay, so there's a couple things we need to do before we reboot, besides exiting. One is to system CTL enable network manager. Notice the capital N and M in manager. We got symlink saying it was created. Okay, so now we're going to up arrow that backspace that network manager off of there and replace it with light DM service. And we got a symlink saying that's correct. We've got everything done. Most everything is installed for us. The only thing we don't have is yay. Can get that as soon as we boot into our newest system. So I'm going to control D, which is the same as typing exit. Umount space -R space /MNT. And again, I see people doing this all kind of ways. Unmount -A, and then you get things saying they're busy and everything. Well, the wiki says this way. Now we can say reboot. We should be booting into light DM, and we bypassed our ISO, went straight into grub. And we should have our guest utilities installed. We should get a pretty good picture when we do boot up. Several tricks here that we've learned, or I've learned, that I've shared with you just now. One is the reflector, how to run that command instead of just limiting yourself to the one country. Okay, good. You can specify as many countries as you want, I assume. In my case, I selected the United States because I live here, but I also selected Canada because that is the country of origin and is bound by, let's see, settings. We're landlocked with them. Get that stuff out of the way there. Resolution. It's going to be a weird one. Is that it? Let's see. Not it. Close though. I think it's this one. Let's find out. Nope. I'll waste more time trying to get this right. It's going to be something weird. Restore the previous. It ain't that. 1280 by 800. It's probably not that one. I guess that's good enough, though. We can see it for now. I can get it better. We're through. We're into our desktop. The rest of it's entirely up to you, setting up preferences and what you want to do with it. I normally have to make things bigger where I can see them. I'm not on a laptop, so I right click on that power thing there and say remove it. Ask me, am I sure? I say yes. And then I'm going to go to properties for my clock. Deselect the date and stuff. It's ready to tweak. Do what you want to right here. But I'm going to show you something else really neat here. We don't have yay, so we're going to get that in here first. /tmp. So we're going to change directories and get into a temporary directory. Git clone https://AUR.linux.org/yay.git. Okay, now we're going to cd into yay. Okay, so now we can say make pkg-si. Hit enter. And I see different ways of doing this online. It just seems like it overcomplicates things. Display while that's working there. Oh, good and well, there's one in here that works. Well, that's just a weird looking. Well, at least it's right as far as the positioning. We're still installing yay, so I got a minute here. 13. It's always fun trying to figure out what the... Oh man, I meant to restore it or get the other one back. It ain't that one. It ain't that one. It's close. Okay, I'm just going to leave it there. Quit messing with it for now. I actually wrote that down somewhere, what it normally takes, and now I don't see it. I just rearranged a whole bunch of stuff in my playroom here. Another terminal here, Pac-Man, SS, XFCE4, panel, profiles. Okay, so it must be in yay, and I can't get to yay. Let's see, yay, -SS, XFCE4, panel, -profiles. So there it is. If you ever have a computer, fault one, and you got several people using it, they all prefer their own configuration, and you've done a lot of work to set up your XFCE desktop the way you want it, here is a solution. Be a way to save your configuration, and just each one of the users have their own configuration. That's what this panel profiles is going to do for us. Not sure where that goes. System goes under settings. Panel profiles. Okay, so right now you see the current configuration is the stock vanilla XFCE. I'm going to save exactly what we got, and I'll just save it. All right, now watch this. We're going to go to that one, Richmond, and I'm going to say apply and apply. Now, look how quickly that changed. No log out, no log in, no reboot necessary. Now we've got a totally different desktop layout. Totally different. OpenSUSE, same way. Apply, apply. You get the OpenSUSE look like. How neat is that? And you know it's changing it because there's that power thing again. Let me go back to my backup, which was there, but you can see your options here. That's pretty slick. This is an awesome little program. I'm going to restore the original, put it back in this original form there so I can do my own tweaking, set up my own layout. But that's an awesome software there for if you've got more than one user. Each one of them likes their own desktop layout. Let me go ahead and see if there's any updates here. Sudo pacman -s YYU. Do the YY just to force it to check. And there is an update that quick. And it's a core update. Alright, well that was quick. I should conclude this video. I'm going to Control F, get out of here full screen. I'll bring up the terminal. Actually, I can just bring it up right here. We're going to shut it down. And that's XFCE on an Arch-based installation from start to finish. Very nice. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Goodbye. Shut down.